Video games. Literally everyone on the planet has either heard or played them. Video games make up a lot of people's lives, and in some cases, even careers. Video games not only bring entertainment for many, but also inspire people to make their own games, along with a lot of other things. Another thing video games bring us are fun, relatable, and also extremely powerful characters. Some characters that represent pillars of strength in gaming are Dante from the Devil May Cry franchise and Kratos from the God of War franchise. These two characters are some of the strongest in all of gaming, and they are also some of the most popular. Hello everyone, I'm Dusty, and in this video I will be talking about a very popular debate in the gaming community. That debate is Dante from the Devil May Cry franchise and Kratos from the God of War franchise. These two characters are extremely powerful, and they are both on my Mount Rushmore of powerful gaming characters, along with Sun Wukong and the Doomslayer. Today, I'll be putting both of them into the battle arena to determine which one of the two is stronger. I'll be comparing their stats, such as strength, speed, durability, IQ, experience, equipment, as well as their abilities to determine which one of these powerhouses will leave the arena alive. Before we get to that, let's talk about their backstories, starting with Dante. Long ago, there lived a powerful demon by the name of Sparta. He was an immensely powerful demon who was able to beat the demon king Mundus. Sparta had 2 children with a human woman named Eva. Both of his children ended up being sons. Those sons were Dante and Virgil. When Dante was a child, his mother was killed by demons loyal to Mundus, and in the chaos, Dante and Virgil were separated. Dante grew up believing his older brother was dead and grew in hiding. Dante became a mercenary, specifying in killing the demonic forces from hell. Eventually, Dante learned that Virgil was alive, and the two fought, forcing Dante to supposedly kill his brother. A few years later, Dante met his nephew Nero, who he trained to be just like himself, a force strong enough to kill the demonic forces threatening to take over the world. That's when Dante and Virgil would fight one last time, but ended up temporarily coming to a truce, as the two brothers decided to seal the portal between worlds from within, leaving Nero and the others with the job Dante once had. Kratos was born of a Spartan warrior, who was the son of Zeus and a mortal woman. After being tricked by Ares into killing his wife and daughter, Kratos was cursed to have their ashes permanently fused to his skin. He was given the title, the Ghost of Sparta. Kratos was fueled by rage and went on an adventure to kill every single one of the Greek gods. When he killed Ares, he became a god himself, which gave him the strength needed to achieve his goal of eliminating all of the Greek pantheon. After his purge of Greece, Kratos moved into the Norse lands to live a new life. He had started a new family and had even had a son named Atreus. His new goal after his wife died was to learn to control his rage and become a good father for Atreus. He would travel the Norse lands with Atreus, where he would eventually become the Norse god of war and hope. Now that you know who these characters are, let's get to the main event. Like I said earlier, I'll be comparing these two characters' stats to determine which gaming legend will leave the arena alive. Let's begin by talking about their first stat, their strength, starting with Dante. Dante, being half-demon, makes him incredibly powerful. He is capable of splitting cars in two with single swipes of his sword, which takes a lot of strength. Dante is also able to beat demons specifically made and forged to be able to surpass him in terms of his strength. He should also be on par or slightly stronger than Virgil, who can do significant damage and cut through the fabric of reality. However, his best feats of strength come from his fights against Mundus and Agrosax. to incredibly powerful demon lords who manipulate dimensions. Ergosax is an entity whose mere presence is capable of warping space and time, even creating time paradoxes across multiple points in time. Ergosax was able to split the demon world into two. Mundus, on the other hand, is also incredibly powerful. He was the one who merged the human and the demon worlds together with his own power. Mundus was also able to create an infinite expanding universe just casually. So yeah, both Ergosax and Mundus would scale to around multiversal to even potentially complex multiversal levels of power. And Dante was able to beat both of them by himself. Dante also has two other forms which increase his strength by a large margin. His first one is his Devil Trigger form, which he used to beat Mundus before later on beating a stronger version of Mundus in his base. While not directly stated, Devil Trigger seemingly doubles the strength of Dante. His other form is Sin Devil Trigger, Dante's ultimate form. Again, while not stated directly, Sin Devil Trigger has potentially a strength multiplier of 5 to 15 times due to having a higher multiplier than Devil Trigger. So ultimately, Dante would scale to around high multiversal to potentially complex multiversal. If Kratos is known for anything, it's his strength. For starters, he was able to beat the three Furies, who were capable of creating physical illusions and entire dimensions, some of which contained a starry sky in the background and would require solar system levels of energy to create and destroy. However, Kratos would scale far beyond that. Kratos was capable of killing the entire Greek pantheon of gods. Some examples are Hades, who could contend with Kronos, who killed Uranus, who created the entire universe in a battle of cosmic scales. Kratos also killed Poseidon, who is the strongest Greek god under Zeus, and is capable of beating Atlas, who could physically hold up the Greek pantheon by himself for 1,000 years, as well as threatening to turn all of creation back into nothingness and turn it into chaos, which is a complex multiversal feat. Lastly, and most infamously, Kratos was able to kill Zeus, who is the strongest Greek god and would be superior to everyone else I've talked about. It was implied that Zeus could one-shot both Hades and Poseidon with a single lightning strike, both of which are complex multiversal level threats. And Kratos killed Zeus. That was all before factoring his adventures in the Norse lands, by the way. In said adventures, Kratos was able to fight and beat Thor, who was a complex multiversal threat, due to him being able to shake all 9 realms in his fight against Jormungandr. I definitely mispronounced that. So Kratos would scale to complex multiversal levels of strength. So who's stronger? While it's close, Kratos would take the edge. This is mainly due to being able to fight stronger opponents than Dante has. And sure, while Dante's opponents are incredibly powerful, especially Mundus, and you can make arguments that Dante would reach complex multiversal, Kratos just has simply far more and more consistent feats of complex multiversal. And he was also able to fight and kill the entire Greek pantheon alone, which is very impressive. So while close, Kratos takes the edge. Now let's talk about speed. Dante has a lot of very good speed feats. Dante was able to dodge attacks from Mundus in his own domain, where he was omnipresent, meaning he was in multiple places at once, and he could spread darkness endlessly, and this was done in Dante's base form. He was also able to reach places that not even Mundus could reach, despite him being omnipresent, which is quite literally an immeasurable speed feat, due to him somehow being able to take someone who is literally everywhere at once off guard. In his fight against Argosax, Dante was able to speed blitz him a few times, which would be anywhere from an MFTO plus to infinite speed feat. His speed is also drastically multiplied with Devil and Sin Devil Trigger, So Dante would scale to having around MFTL to immeasurable, although immeasurable is more consistent. Early on in his life, Kratos was able to fight and even kill the sun god Helios, whose light was able to light up the entire underworld in a few minutes, which said underworld is infinite in size. Kratos was also able to keep up with Persephone, who can react and block beams from the light of dawn, which beams work similar to Helios' light. Like I said earlier, Kratos was able to fight and kill Zeus, who should be way faster than Hermes, who can run across the entire distance of the infinite-sized underworld. Hermes was also capable of dodging Helios' light, which, like I said, could illuminate the entire infinite underworld. In Ragnarok, Kratos was able to dodge shockwaves created by Thor, the same shockwaves that could encompass the entirety of Yggdrasil, an infinite higher dimension. So Kratos can be consistently scaled to having infinite speeds. So who's faster? While it's close, Dante would take the edge in speed. While Kratos having infinite speeds is very impressive, Dante being able to somehow take an omnipresent being off guard and even reach places that said omnipresent being couldn't is just so illogically broken that his speeds are literally incalculable, which if you have incalculable speeds, that means you are faster than someone who would have infinite speeds. Sure, Kratos having infinite speed is impressive, but Dante's immeasurable speeds would be superior. Now let's move on to durability. Dante can take a lot of punishment and keep bouncing back. For starters, it's been stated that no weapon on Earth that we have is capable of killing Dante, as well as other demons from the Devil May Cry franchise. This includes weapons such as all of the gun calibers and nukes. Specifically, in one example, the Tsar bomb, one of the most powerful nukes that the planet has access to, which has 50 megatons of TNT's worth of explosive energy. Dante is also capable of taking blows from Virgil, who should be around Dante's multiversal to complex multiversal levels of power. Of course, Dante is also capable of taking blows from Mundus and Argosax, giving him, again, multiversal to complex multiversal levels of durability. Before I move on to Kratos, I want to talk about Dante's healing factor. Dante's healing factor is absolutely broken. Dante has been impaled so many times and just walked it off. He can regenerate lost limbs, impalement like I said, and even being turned into a puddle. Kratos is just as durable as he is strong. He was able to go blow for blow with the Greek gods, who, like I've made very clear, are incredibly powerful. He was also able to take blows from Thor and other Norse gods, who should be around the Greek gods in terms of strength. Overall, Kratos would have complex multiversal levels of durability. While Kratos can heal himself from his injuries, it requires immense focus, and like he said himself, he prefers not to use his powers unless it's in a dire situation. Even still, Dante's healing factor would be superior. So who's more durable? While at face value, Kratos should take the edge in this stat due to his durability scaling slightly higher than Dante's. However, I'm giving the edge in durability to Dante due to how crazy his healing factor is. Even if Kratos was able to fully disintegrate Dante, he's capable of coming back. And Dante could just keep fighting, no matter how much physical damage he takes. While yes, Kratos can heal himself, I already mentioned that Dante's healing factor is far superior, and Kratos needs to focus in order to heal himself, which would be really hard to do in an intense fight like this. So Dante takes durability. Now let's move on to experience and IQ. Dante may come off as this chill, laid-back, and goofy guy, but he should not be taken lightly. Dante is a profound and very experienced fighter, and he has been slaying demonic forces for years. He understands all of his abilities and has basically mastered all of them. He is a master swordsman and marksman, better than actual trained soldiers, and he also mastered every weapon in his arsenal. He is also very good at reading and understanding his opponents. As for experience, Dante is no slacker when it comes to kicking demons back to their home turf. Dante started his demon slaying journey at around the age of 18, and in the most recent game, Devil May Cry 5, he's in his early 40s. This means Dante has at least 22 to 24-ish years of combat experience, and potentially even higher levels of experience than that due to fighting a wide variety of incredibly powerful enemies like Virgil, Mundus, Argosax, and even people like Nero. So yeah, Dante is very experienced. Kratos, before his rampage of the Greek pantheon, was stated to be the greatest general in the Spartan Empire, leading entire armies through war. Kratos is also a master of every weapon he picks up, and he has a ton of them, which I'll get to later. He is able to outsmart and overpower trained warriors, as well as solve complex puzzles made by Daedalus. I also mispronounced that, I'm sorry. Kratos is very intelligent, but he's also incredibly experienced. Not only did he fight in many wars for the Spartan Empire, he was able to fight every Greek and even several Norse gods by himself. Kratos has centuries of experience due to him being over 100 years old. So who takes these stats? While IQ is hard to decide, Kratos would take experienced very easily with no contest at all. Kratos has been around for centuries, and Dante is a middle-aged man. That's not fair. As for IQ, it's a lot harder to decide since both are masters of multiple weapons, capable of outsmarting trained warriors, and they're quite skilled in their own fields of combat. Puzzles for Kratos and analytical prescription for Dante. So yeah, it's hard to decide, so I'm just going to make it a tie, but you can definitely make an argument for one person taking it over the other. Before I make a verdict on who wins, I need to talk about the last two stats, their abilities and equipment. Dante is stacked when it comes to the amount of abilities and weapons he has. Such abilities are regeneration, time manipulation with Quicksilver, flight, demonic energy, manipulation, magic, rage power, fear manipulation, power nullification, darkness manipulation, resurrection, elemental manipulation, force field creation, explosion manipulation, attack reflection, damage reduction, energy absorption, transformation, statistics amplification, electricity manipulation, sound manipulation, duplication, summoning, invulnerability, sealing, minor precognition, hellfire manipulation, plasma manipulation, soul manipulation, purification, extrasensory perception, intangibility, space and time manipulation, and resistances to soul manipulation, extrasensory perception, cosmic awareness, electrical manipulation, precognition, and many more. Dante has other abilities, but this video is long enough. As for equipment, Dante is stacked. He has his main weapons, such as his dual handguns, Ebony and Ivory, as well as his blade named Rebellion. He has a weapon named Cerberus, which allows Dante to manipulate ice, a guitar named Nivon, which allows Dante to manipulate electricity, gauntlets named Beowulf, a shotgun, a weapon named Artemis, which fires energy beams, a high-caliber rifle named Spiral, a blade named Yamato, which can cut through reality, a weapon named Lucifer, which allows Dante to fire an infinite amount of blades, and many, many more. Kratos has a bunch of abilities himself. Such abilities are godlike strength, rage power, elemental manipulation, petrification, soul manipulation, time manipulation, extrasensory perception, divine magic, non-physical interaction, immortality negation, reactive evolution, power nullification, purification, life absorption, magic absorption, power absorption, paralysis inducement, probability manipulation, memory manipulation, energy manipulation and projection, force field creation, and many, many, many more. Kratos also has resistances to soul manipulation, sleep inducement, life force absorption, mind manipulation, memory manipulation, probability manipulation, biological manipulation, pain manipulation, conceptual manipulation, and more. As for his equipment, he has the Blades of Chaos, Amulet of Ouroboros, the Eyes of Truth, the Gauntlet of Zeus, a Sun Shield, Triton's Lance, the Blades of Chaos, Blade of Artemis, Blades of Athena, Medusa's Head, the Thorn of Boreas, the Blade of Olympus, Icarus's Wings, a Golden Fleece, Blades of Exile, Claws of Hades, and many, many more. So who wins? Well, it's very close. While Kratos is physically stronger and more experienced, Dante is faster and has a far better healing factor. Both have large arsenals and counter a lot of what the other person can throw at them. It all comes down to one true factor. Can Kratos bypass Dante's healing factor? If he can, then he has a solid chance and both could potentially win. But if he can't, then Dante just comes back and wins the fight until he can kill Kratos. While Kratos can't rip out Dante's soul with the claws of Hades, since Dante resists soul manipulation, he also can't just beat Dante to a bloody puddle because he could just come back from that. However, Kratos has one weapon in his arsenal that could potentially turn the tide of this battle. The Blade of Olympus. This weapon negates and absorbs godly/divine energy from his opponents, which could potentially bypass Dante's healing factor. It was able to help Kratos kill Zeus, which is a very impressive feat. However, Dante is so much faster than Kratos, Kratos might not be able to land a hit with the blade. There's also nothing stopping Dante from just stopping time with Quicksilver, since while Kratos does resist time manipulation, he isn't fully immune to it, and Dante will eventually have a successful time stop. Dante's also part demon and hence not a divine being, so the blade not even work against Dante. So while it's close, I give the win to Dante with high difficulty, mainly due to Kratos having no surefire way to bypass Dante's healing factor, meaning he doesn't have a way to put him down for good, and Dante has quite a few options to put Kratos down for good. So yeah, Dante would take the win here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I took a lot of time researching for this video, since I didn't know a whole lot about Kratos before going into this. If you disagree with anything I said in this video, be sure to comment down below, and I'll make sure to take your feedback in mind for the next video. Anyways, I'm Dusty, signing off. Have a wonderful day.